Hi, I'm Andrea Klim, and you are watching Turn to the Stars. And this week on Turn to the Stars, and today is Tuesday, June 10th, 2014, I'm going to be talking about the full moon in Sagittarius, which is at its peak on Thursday night. That's the 12th of June. But I'm also going to be talking about oppositions, meaning planetary oppositions, the way the universe brings us together, and a little overview of what the body of the show is going to be about, the full moon on June 12th. And that brings the moon opposite the sun, and also Venus in opposition to Saturn, and that energy is peaking on the full moon. I'm going to be talking about Mars squaring Pluto and that energy time period that it's peaking and what it means. Going to be talking about Mars in opposition to Uranus, which is also approaching. And I'm going to finally, if I can get through this information, if not, there'll be two parts to the show. Going to be talking about the nodal axis, the Libra North Node versus the Aries South Node, and what those mean. So one of the things with opposition, one of the manifestations that oppositions stimulate for us is something that's not the easiest, and that is they cause us to look in the mirror, or they encourage us to look in the mirror at the reflections of who we are, to see those reflections, to remember that we are connected to other people, and oftentimes people in our lives reflect back at us who we are. As I said before, this is one of the things that oppositions do, especially the fixed oppositions. Fixed oppositions mean that there's no way around this. This is a very solid fixed aspect, and if these two people or these two opposite forces do not connect or find a way to each give, then they're in totally opposite places. But there is the potential to come together with oppositions. And yesterday, as I was preparing this show, I tell this story in my astrology classes when I'm teaching astrology. And I tell this story that when you're studying a birth chart, there's so much information there. So what I wrote yesterday is that what people really need to do is concentrate on remembering the gifts they came here with. You know, what's wrapped up and hidden soon becomes unwrapped and revealed. Gifts come in all shapes and sizes, and they aren't always what we want, but they are what we need. These gifts carry wisdom of past experiences that our soul has a memory of. These gifts wait to be acknowledged and opened in love. Our birth charts hold the blueprint of these gifts, this wisdom, and the gifts are valuable toward our good health and wellness. Our consciousness also carries these memories. Imagine, just for a moment, imagine that you're standing in front of your Creator at the time of your reincarnation, and Creator is telling you that you won't remember at first what these gifts are when you reincarnate. Creator says that life experiences will be how you will open these gifts, and as you do, you will see the gift you carry of wisdom, and the experience that comes with it will be what becomes a driving force in your life. Creator says you will have my gift of free will, and so you will be able to choose when the time is right to accept this gift and love it or leave it, and you'll soon find that this gift never leaves, even if you leave it. And Creator says further, it will follow you as it is a part of your soul, and it is a part of why you have come to life once again. And this is something that I tell my students. What if everything that you find is hard, is challenging, or these aspects of connection with other people that you experience in your life, what if they are actually gifts turned inside out? And we just have to remember how to live and manage these things here on Earth. And I just wanted to tell you that this was inspired by this full moon energy, which is growing in the sign of Sagittarius. And so people really do need to concentrate on remembering the gifts they came here with. That is, remember the wisdom and past experiences that are held within their soul. Your birth chart shows this because it is a blueprint. And I want to show you a picture of the full moon chart on the screen. No, that's not it. It's the first one, number A. There we go. I bring so many charts. So anyway, this is the sun is down in the right hand corner, which is about 5 o'clock, and you see the circle with the dot in it. It's shaded in gray, and that's the sun in opposition. The sun is at 22 degrees Gemini, in opposition to the moon, the full moon in Sagittarius at 22 degrees up in the top left corner. And this Sagittarius full moon, you see the red line that creates that opposition, meaning that these two bodies, these two energies, these two luminaries, we call them in astrology, are in opposite places. And what this energy of this Sagittarius full moon inspires us to take flight. Sagittarius is a fire sign, and it loves to go, it loves to search. And the hardest thing to do with this energy growing this week is to sit still. There's a great American novelist, Jack Kerouac, and he said, because he had no place he could stay in without getting tired of it, and because there was nowhere to go but everywhere, he just kept rolling under the stars. So it's a great way of describing this full moon energy. When the moon does come full in the sign of Rome, if you want to, Sagittarius, this Thursday night, June 12th, the desire to expand your horizons becomes an all-consuming obsession. And, you look at that, and you know that on full moons we see it's lighter outside than when, there's a new moon. The new moon, it's very dark, but the full moon brings lots of light. It's like a natural light created by the universe, and a lot goes on while there's a full moon energy present. And this Sagittarius energy does encourage us to aim higher and to pursue only the best and the brightest. And there's a contagious optimism that's present to mutate or to be mutable. And there's a fire energy that comes with this, a really fiery sense that comes with that full moon energy in Sagittarius. And one of the interesting things about 2014, it is the year of the horse, and it is a time of positivity and luck. So, we need to shoot for the stars or aim for the stars or always look beyond where we presently are. And that's what this year encourages us to do, especially in the area of relationships. The only potential planetary hold present on this full moon is that Venus and Saturn will be in opposition at the same time. And if I could put that chart back up again, so I can show that. There it is. On the bottom, the very bottom of the screen, we see, not the very bottom, right around, the bottom of the screen, I apologize. Venus is right about 6 o'clock, and it is in the sign of Taurus, and you see the opposing line, red line, right through the middle with Saturn in Scorpio, and it is retrograde. And again, oppositions are the way the universe tries to bring us together. And so I just wanted to point that out, what that looks like on the chart. But what this does during this full moon is it puts pressure on relationships, and we may be looking for the nearest escape route with that full moon inspiration of Sagittarius. So the full moon in Sagittarius holds the potential, though, it's important to understand this, to clear away the limitations, stagnation, and pessimism. It is a very positive sign. It is a very proactive sign. It is a sign that doesn't sit still. So what else is also happening is Jupiter is the planet that rules this full moon. And currently it's in an exalted state, meaning it's doing its very best work in Cancer, because that's the constellation that Jupiter is in during this full moon, and it has been for almost a year. You know, this means many gifts and lots of abundance and wisdom coming through the family and its members and our individual soul family connections. Very important. If relationship issues or struggles are getting you down, the uplifting energy of this full moon in Sagittarius will help you to see the big picture. So if you feel too bogged down and are in despair over what's lost, this full moon lumination will remind you to look up. Very positive. It's like a shot in the arm of happy, of good luck. So expect it. Really do expect it. And remember, oppositions require that we listen, that we pay attention to the world around us. And there's always more to the story and a silver lining that can be found if you're willing to look far enough. Sometimes it's just a matter of changing your scenery to get a bigger and brighter perspective. So if you have the opportunity to travel to a different land or to take a journey to somewhere which is very enlightening, meaning meditation, shamanic journey, guided meditation, make your plans and go there. It will really stimulate this energy. Do whatever you can to at least change your current position. This full moon in Sagittarius creates the window of time where we can widen our lenses and see the beautiful, brighter sides of life. This full moon is also in mutual reception with Jupiter. Now, mutual reception is when you have two planets in each other's sign, and this mutual reception influences a philosophical and prophetic few days when ideas come together and a bigger picture or point of view begins to make sense. So my advice during this full moon energy is trust your intuition and your inner knowing and creative vision. Expect that there could be some uncomfortable feelings that bubble up to the surface, because I'm going to show you the next chart here, which shows us that Mars does turn up the heat on Pluto, the god of the underworld. But also Pluto is the god of hidden treasures or buried treasures. And that's between June 12th and June 13th. And you can see Pluto over on the left shaded in pink, and Mars over on the right shaded in pink. Mars in Libra, Pluto in Capricorn in that constellation. And that angle of energy is very powerful on this full moon. Which is this week. So any feelings of anger that remain unaddressed and unresolved will be prone to erupt around the 23rd or 24th. So pay attention to what is at the root of what anger is being stimulating, because at the root of anger there is fear. And talk about it with someone you trust so it doesn't remain bottled up. Very important that you take action to resolve what's not in harmony, especially in the way of relationships. Right around June 15th and 16th, the sun in the constellation of Gemini comes together with the moon's north node in Libra, and that generates connections and opportunities for us to get together with others or to join together with others of like mind. On June 17th, you may have heard me talk about this on last week's show, Mercury Mercury is retrograde right now till July 1st. And that rules our logic and our reason, and so we need to be very careful not to make decisions, but to use this time to research and take time, allow for delays. But Mercury retrograde does move back into Gemini on June 17th, and it signals a chance to review and reconnect with people and to hear their ideas. Gemini is a very conversational type of energy, meaning that it loves to bring people together in conversation, sharing information, sharing ideas. It's very likely that you will find something of value as Venus tucks nicely to Jupiter as it forms a sextile around this time, which is an angle that suggests opportunities will arise between June 17th and June 18th. Life may get more complex after the summer solstice on June 21st. I need to show you a chart here, which is Mars opposite Uranus. There it is. They are shadowed in blue. We see Uranus at the top of the chart, and it's the universe is showing us that Uranus and Mars are in opposite ends of the spectrum here, and it's directing us as it raises our awareness of how we can come together. However, this opposition does hold the potential for dangerous temperaments, which becomes at its fullest peak of energy on June 24th. So be aware of your surroundings, take your time, listen, respond appropriately. Please remember the gift of an opposition is that it holds the potential to bring us together. That's very important to remember because it can appear like something comes out of nowhere, oppositions. But also, this opposition could see us acting together to change things. Those are very positive references that could come through this energy. Oppositions also hold the potential for us to do what we can about what we can. They also show they also show us how we can, it gives us ideas of how we can make decisions as our free will to choose becomes very active as well. And it's important to remember, oppositions also remind us that we have to give in order to receive. And we have to also realize that compromise, especially realize how important compromise is, especially if you have a respectful party that may not agree with you, you may not agree with them. However, if they're respectful, there's always a way to connect. There's always a way to come together. There's always a common ground you can find agreement. But important to remember with oppositions also, if you are having a experience with someone who is not a team player, meaning they won't budge a bit, your awareness may be that it's time to go in a different direction, and that in itself is a gift. And here's some really good news. The best days for top priority plans in June, and this is universal: June 3rd, June 5th, June 8th through 12th, June 16th through the 19th, June 27th, and June 28th. Those are the best days for top priority plans in June. And then these dates in June: June 7th, June 13th, that's this Friday, June 20th through the 24th, and June 29th are days that you might want to take it easy. Go slow, take your time. And this leads me to talk about an important astrological configuration. And the North Node in Libra, meaning the nodal axes, in Libra, and the South Node in Aries. I want to show you a chart on the screen. This is C. And this one right here is, let me just look at mine here. You see the green opposition, or the connecting line of energy here. And this is this chart is actually, we see the nodal axis on the brink of moving out of the constellation of Scorpio and Taurus and backward into Libra-Aries. And that's the next chart. Yes, right there. So you can see on the bottom left corner, Mars right next to the North Node in Libra, and that is at 29 degrees and 59 minutes in that constellation. And this shift actually occurred on February 18th. And this nodal axis shift into Libra and Aries remains until November 11th of 2015. So what this means that with the North Node entering the sign of Libra, and remaining there till November of 2015, we'll experience a spiritual shift, and we have been, of attention as the North Node points the way ahead and triggers a new round of karmic awareness. So the transiting North Node is representative of our collective direction, meaning where we are guided to go together. And the last time the North Node was in Libra was about August of 1995 through January of 1997. During these years, we began to be more conscious of connecting with each other. This is something that is really affecting everyone. And this was a time when, the last time that these nodes were on this axis, that the universe brought our attention to things that were out of balance in relationships. It was a time for disagreements that could lead to agreements through diplomacy and compromise. Remember what I said at the beginning of the show. Oppositions are the way the universe brings us together. It's the way it raises our awareness. At the other end of the axis, the South Node is in Aries. Aries and Libra are exactly opposite, so they are connected. The South Node is a point of release. Some people call it the tail of the dragon. It's what's behind us. It's what follows, but not where we're going. The South Node really is a symbol of what we've already mastered. In birth charts, it represents the gift of experience we bring into this life, as well as old habits that no longer serve our greater good. So it is the South Node we run to when we need a soft place to fall. But the universe keeps pushing us out of our comfort zone toward the teachings of the North Node. And so as the axis of karma shifts, which is what happened back in February, the emphasis is on releasing selfish attitudes and embracing and working with others. So the quest for a revolutionary change of the being is heard loud and clear from both the South Node in Aries and from Uranus as it moves slowly through the constellation of Aries. So the world is pushed towards putting our heads together. We're encouraged to put our heads together to find the best solution for the way forward. And Aries is the sign, carries the energy or the influence of the warrior, which the universe is saying, this is now the past. That's where the South Node is. We already know about this. We already know how to fight. And Libra is the peacemaker, and the universe is telling us that this is the direction we all need to move toward. So during the passage of the North Node in Scorpio, which was from August 30th of 2012 through February 18th of 2014, the beginning of this year, many secrets through that nodal axis came to light and truths were told. For example, we had Edward Snowden. He exposed government secrets. We became aware of many sexual abuse scandals worldwide, so many different forms. Many issues were revealed of power, control, corruption during those years, that 2-year span of the North Node in Scorpio and the South Node in Taurus. So now with all this brought to light, the North Node, the direction that we should head toward, challenges us to start again and see how we can get along with each other. It's interesting, the gift of the Scorpio-Taurus axis revealed some very fixed and dark issues for a couple of years, but also revealed things that need not be repeated with a very solid way, as fixed signs always do. That was that Scorpio-Taurus axis. We were reminded that the manipulative dark side of Scorpio no longer works. Empowerment has come through the truth, however nasty it was. So now the problem is the South Node in Aries says that we can't just stay angry about it. We need justice, Libra. That's the direction so that we can regain our balance. This is the gift we've unwrapped and are examining until November of 2015. Awareness of this gift is so raised with this nodal axis. And with Venus and Mars becoming rulers of the transiting nodes, our own personal relationships will also come to the forefront. On a mundane level, sexual inequalities and gender issues may become more prominent. You're going to hear people talking about these things a lot. I have been, and we all will. Venus and Mars, meaning woman and men. Women are from Venus and men are from Mars. You've heard that saying. Have just got to learn to get along. And there's some balance, equality that's coming with this energy. So as the ruling planet of the North Node is Venus, that's Libra, this Libra transit brings the opportunity to notice the similarities between each other in order to facilitate harmony. Now, Venus naturally looks for ways to smooth troubled waters. The sign Libra is about give and take. For the next 18 months, the North Node will push us to find ways to agree, to work together, to collaborate, to compromise. Doing it alone won't work. Our leaders, politicians, and diplomats will be forced to put their heads together to find ways to work together. In our own lives, in your lives, in my life, in everyone's life, it will be necessary to reach out, to slow things down, and build confidence by continuing to connect peacefully with others. And whatever house in your birth chart this North Node is traveling or moving through, and the South Node will show you where you need to recognize similarities instead of differences, and where you need to embrace an alternative or even opposing perspective. So share what you have and what you've learned. Share your kindness, share your gifts, and most of all, it's not a competition or a battle. Find ways to agree, to disagree, if you must. So I'm just about to the end of the show. I do want to say thank you for watching Turn to the Stars and for your continued support. And I hope that this information makes a big difference in your life and encourage you to remember that oppositions are very much about the universe's way of bringing us together. So until next week, take good care, and remember, turn to the stars and you'll find your answers there. Take good care. I'll see you next week.